interesting over the last few weeks, having had quite a few groups visiting, and was it the grocery girls who were delightful? They said, Di, can you show us how you knit? And I said, well, actually, Sheila and I both knit in a very similar way. We put they said, yes, we know. So, and I said, well, because I put my lovely long needles, straight pins, I put one under my arm.
Me too.
And it anchors, and I knit. So I was showing them. And I knit, I actually put the other needle, I realised, at right angles. Yeah. So I don't actually need to hold this needle. It just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you said that's why we really don't use the knitting belt very often, because we're tuckers. We put the principal needle under the arm. And so I think it's because I'm from kind of northeast England, East Yorkshire, and my aunt taught me. And this is how she taught me. Yes, from being tiny. So that needle just goes under the arm. And so I said, and I do believe this, that it just gives a really great tension. Would you agree?
I have been laughed at in various countries of the world for knitting the way I do. And more than one person has said to me, let me show you a better way.
Whoa.
And I said, well, actually, I'm very happy with what I do and the results that I get. I've been knitting this way since I was very small. Like you, I had an aunt who taught me to knit when I was very small. I think about 3.
And that was in southern Scotland.
And that was in the borders.
So as a crow flies, I mean, actually not that far.
Not that far.
From each other. I mean, maybe 120
quite
miles.
a world away in terms of accent and everything else. But actually, not that far.
No.
Not that far.
You're kind of border reaver.
Totally.
Country.
Yes, totally, although I don't lay claim to a criminal background. But, you know, I feel very much that we knit the way we do because we're comfortable doing it, we get our best results doing it.
Great tension. I mean, the tension, because our tensions are the same.
Yes.
And I remember everybody looked at us, and I said, yeah, we actually have the same tension. And we are going to talk about tension at some point, and I said, you know, when I'm doing something and I've really had enough of it, you can take my knitting away.
With the 15 colours hanging down the back.
and which is a great relief. And you can't see where you took over. And that, I think that's quite a thing, isn't it?
The bedrock of our knitting relationship. Yeah.
And I do the same for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I say, well, what am I supposed to do next? And you say, oh, well, leave it with me and I'll take it home and have a little play.
Have a play.
See where it gets me. So yes, it's a two-way street. It definitely is a two-way street.
And the thing is, I think by having this needle so properly anchored, and by working always at a right angle, which is great when you're in the round with 4 needles and the 5th one working. You are just getting the stitch so nicely, and it's not as it's firm on the needle, because we're not tight knitters.
We're not tight knitters.
I always say, you see that lovely concertina when the wool, the stitches move.
You really should be able to do that.
You should be able to do that.
You really should be able to do that. With just a little bit of pressure.
A little bit of pressure, absolutely.
Just a little bit of pressure. Not too much. They shouldn't be sliding about all over the place.
No.
But
you can regulate, can't you, on straight pins?
If you really have to push, then you should think about trying to relax a little bit when you're knitting.
Yeah.
The yarn doesn't really like to be held too tight. Sometimes I can see it. The other time I can see it is if knitters have wound a ball from, say, a hang or a skein, and it has been wound very, very tightly. And actually, wool does need space to breathe.
It does, to fill the stitch.
So the same aunt who taught me to knit, our wool came from the mill, and so it was in hanks or skeins. Yeah. And so I had to be taught how to wind it into a ball. And there was very much a thing of using your fingers as you're winding off to give the wool room to breathe.
Yeah.
And not to wind it very, very tightly. So
holding the thread. I barely hold the thread. I don't do any of this kind of twisting.
Well, then you would need to keep feeding it through all the time.
You don't. You just hold it so lightly. You're the same.
Yeah, I just hold it over a finger.
Very, very light touch.
Yeah. Having been laughed at in various countries of the world, I would be the last person to criticise anyone else's knitting choices, because the older I get, I just think, well, whatever makes you happy and whatever gives you the results.
Yeah.
That you're happy with.
I agree, totally.
And that's the bottom line, because we want everyone to be happy when they're knitting.
We want to be in that zone. It would be really great if people told us about how they knit. And if you are like us, we want to hear from you. Because we may be the last.
We're relics.
The
relics of a bygone age. Who knows?
Yeah, please tell us if we are.
Who knows?
Or if not. And by the way, I do use a circular occasionally.
Yeah. And I use short DPNs, double pointed needles. I don't always use long ones. I have been known to use short ones.
And we've had the most enjoyable time sitting knitting.
This has been a great way to spend an afternoon, hasn't it?
It's been really lovely. So
we don't often give ourselves the pleasure of sitting and knitting together and just talking about what we're doing. It would be lovely to know how other people knit.